Hey, what's up, everyone? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Saturday, March 16th. Well, guys, we have another busy weekend ahead of us. A bunch of free picks in this video, including the parlay of the day that's coming up at the end. There is 12 games in the MLS slate on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, and you'll be getting a free pick for each one of those. You can find those in a separate video. And of course, stay tuned for more free picks coming up for Sunday and another parlay of the day as well. Uh, After this weekend, we have an international break next week. There won't be a lot of games going on, but there will be some free picks from the Euro Cup qualification playoffs. I believe there's 6 or 7 games on Thursday or something like that. So stay tuned for that, guys. But first, we move on to this weekend and the free picks that we have on Saturday. For my best bets, click the link in the description. That will get you up to my page where you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want to do. And something else what might be worth looking into is pick your favorite two cappers, which means that basically if you want to bet something other than soccer as well, you can combine me with some other handicapper from the Pickdawgz website, get NBA, NHL, some college basketball, whatever else is going on, and you can combine us into one pass and get the picks from the both of us for the day or for the duration of 3 days or even 7 days. I think that's an option as well. Uh, let's get this show on the road, guys. We have some EPL and some FA Cup in England. Burnley is hosting Brentford in the EPL. Two teams that are struggling quite a lot right now. Two teams in a bit of a bad form. Well, Burnley didn't even get to the good form this season, and even though they still have theoretically chances of staying in the league, that's going to be very hard thing to accomplish because they haven't beaten anyone in their last 10 games and they have only 1 win, 2 draws, and 11 losses so far at home this season. As far as Brentford goes, they haven't beaten anyone in their last 5 games. They have lost 4 of those 5 games and conceded at least a goal in each of those 5 games in a row. But the good news, I suppose, is that they have scored at least a goal in 4 of those 5 games. So I think this is going to be the game where both teams will go for it. Both teams feel like they could beat the other team, especially in their current form. So both teams to score an over 2.5 at plus 100. That seems highly likely to me, and I will be rolling with this one. Luton Town and Nottingham Forest are two struggling teams as well. Two teams that haven't gotten the win in a while. Luton hasn't beaten anyone in their last 7 games. Nottingham Forest has lost 5 of their last 6. And defensively, these two teams are a mess. On top of that, Nottingham Forest hasn't scored a single goal in their last 3 games. Well, that's actually something that Luton Town has been doing quite well and quite consistently this season. And they have scored at least the last time they haven't scored a goal was back in early January. So for the last 2.5 months, Luton Town has been scoring a lot of goals. And because both teams, I think, in my opinion, will go for it in this game, I don't think we'll see much defense from either side here. So I'm going to take over 8.5 shots on target at plus 100. Fulham is hosting Tottenham in the next EPL matchup, and honestly, I don't know how we could bet against Tottenham right now. They have won 3 of their last 4. They are on a 3-game win on a 2-game winning streak, while scoring 7 goals in those 2 games, conceded only one. And have in mind that they played against Aston Villa on the road in their last game. And they've ended up beating them 4-0. Fulham on the other side is in a bit of a slump right now. Well, not a slump, but they are coming off of a loss against Wolverhampton 2-1. But when playing at home, Fulham has been quite solid when it comes to scoring goals. But like I said, there's really no betting against Tottenham right now. So I'm gonna go for a heavy hitter here, guys, and that is Tottenham to win it over 2.5 goals at plus 162. Now we are off to the FA Cup, guys, where we have Wolverhampton playing against Coventry. And this is a single leg matchup. It's a quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Uh, Wolverhampton definitely deserves to be the favorites here in this game against Coventry, who is playing in a great form. They are the championship team from the second division of the English football, but they've scored 7 goals in their last 2 games. They are playing well, and Wolverhampton as well as they have been playing offensively, defensively, they tend to make those mistakes. And with this being a single leg matchup, guys, I'm gonna go with both teams to score at minus 125. The second game in the FA Cup is a big one between Manchester City and Newcastle. And I gotta be honest, Newcastle is defensively horrendous. They have conceded 3 goals against Chelsea, who, let's be honest, has been all over the place this season. They have conceded a few goals against Blackburn in the previous round of the FA Cup. And they are still missing a bunch of players who would be in the starting lineup if they were healthy. City, on the other side, is back to their old goal scoring ways, back to their nice and positive streak. They have scored 6 goals in their last 2 home games. They got 1-1 draw against Liverpool last week. And with this, once again, being a single leg matchup, I think that City will go for it here. There's an international break coming up. They don't have to rest their players for the Champions League or something like that. So I think that they will try to step it up here and take care of this game as early as possible. So I'm going to take City team total over 2.5 goals at minus 125. As we can see, the goals are expected from City here, especially. Otherwise, this price would be deep into plus money, but with City, it's at minus 125, and I think they can easily score 3 goals against this basically wounded Newcastle team who's missing a bunch of the players because of the injuries once again. Off to Spanish La Liga, guys, where we have Osasuna hosting Real Madrid. And this could be a very interesting game because Osasuna at home is doing a very good job this season, especially as of late. And I know that they're coming off of a loss to Girona 2-0, but when playing at home, they have won their last 2 games in a row. They have kept a couple of clean sheets, which I don't think it will be the case here because Real Madrid is basically a goal scoring machine. And when playing on the road, they are averaging almost 2 scored goals per game, but they're also conceding about almost a goal per game. It's a bit less, like 0.88 or something like that. But Osasuna is averaging 1 scored goal when playing at home, and their form is quite solid. So can Real Madrid get a win here? They definitely can. Can Osasuna get a positive result out of this game? Potentially, yes, but that's not going to be my pick for this game. I'm going to go with both teams to score in this one, and the price of that is minus 115. Getafe is hosting Girona in the next matchup in La Liga, and now that Girona finally got a win, they got it against Sasuna, like I said last week. They need to keep winning, and Getafe is actually a perfect opponent for them. They are not scoring a lot of goals. Their form is in a bit of a slump right now, and we know that Girona is definitely an outstanding team, and even though they're playing on the road, they've actually scored quite a high amount of goals when playing on the road this season, 24 in 14 games. Uh, and I think they will need that effective offense for this game as well. Uh, Getafe hasn't won any of their last 4 games, and the away team hasn't won a game in this matchup since 2016. But I think that's going to change here in this game. So I'm simply Girona on the money line, and I think this is going to be a nice winner for us as well. Athletic Bilbao and Deportivo Alaves is the last matchup of the day in La Liga that we have, and I think that Bilbao definitely deserve to be the favorites that they are. They need a win here to stay in that Champions League spot in La Liga, which is now actually they are in fifth place, but they're only 2 points away from Atletico Madrid in that fourth place. And potentially with a win here, they will get to that fourth place, and hopefully they will keep it until the end of the season. So, with all due respect to Alaves, I think that Bilbao at home is a much stronger team than Alaves on the road. And with that in mind, guys, I'm gonna take Bilbao -1 on the Asian line. It's plus 100. I think the least we're gonna get out of this game will be a push, but possibly I think that this could be a very comfortable win for Athletic Bilbao at home. In German Bundesliga, guys, we have a few interesting games, and we are gonna kick it off with Heidenheim versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. I didn't need to to think about this game for a long time. Heidenheim is a decent team. They are in a bit of a bad form, but they are scoring goals quite consistently. They failed to score only once in their last 5 games, while Borussia Mönchengladbach had a midweek game in DFB Pokal against Saarbrücken and ended up losing it 2-1. And this is actually the, I believe, third Bundesliga team that Saarbrücken has kicked off. Has kicked out of the DFB Pokal, and they are now going to the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure who they play against, but you know what? Saarbrücken is quickly becoming one of the favorites to win this competition. In the head-to-head matchups, we have always seen both teams to score and over 2.5. And in all 4 games that these teams have played against each other, Gladbach has gotten all 4 wins. However, I'm not as sure about this one, to be honest, which is why I'm gonna take goals instead of the sides, and both teams to score in over 2.5 at -114. That will be my pick for this one. Union Berlin is hosting Werder Bremen, and Werder Bremen is in a bit of a slump right now. Not that Union Berlin is much better; neither team has won their last 3 games, but Werder Bremen had a few very hard games behind them. They lost to Hoffenheim, they lost to Borussia Dortmund at home, and this kind of reminds me of the vintage Werder Bremen, I would say, from last season and the season before, when it takes them a long time to get out of the slump. And that is basically the only reason why I'm taking Union Berlin on the money line. We are getting it plus 105 at home. I think that they are a solid team. Quality wise, I would say these two teams are fairly even, but if Union Berlin is able to step up on that defensive end, I just don't think that Werder Bremen has it in them to do something in the attacking end. So I'm gonna take Union Berlin on the money line. Mainz and Bochum are facing off as well in Bundesliga, and these are also two teams who are struggling a lot. Mainz theoretically still has the chance to get that uh, promotion relegation playoff spot in Bundesliga, which is 16th place or maybe even 15th. I'm not sure. But for that to happen, they need a win here. And luckily for them, Bochum on the road has been very bad this season. 1 win, 4 draws, and 7 losses. And on top of that, Bochum is missing a few players because of the injuries and suspension. So to keep it simple, I'm taking Mainz on the money line at -125. Darmstadt unfortunately has to face Bayern Munich in this game, and they are facing them at a completely wrong time. Mainz paid a hefty price last week against Bayern Munich. They lost 8-1. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see something very, very similar here against Darmstadt, who hasn't won any of their last 18 games. They haven't won any of their last 7 games against Bayern Munich. And they have only 1 win, 3 draws, and 9 losses when playing at home this season. Uh, like I said, Mainz paid a hefty price. I think that Darmstadt will do the same in this game as well. So I'm going to take Bayern to win and over 3.5 goals at -125. Wolfsburg and Augsburg is another matchup in Bundesliga, and Wolfsburg hasn't beaten anyone in their last 8 games. And even though they're safe from their relegation, their ambition and aspirations to get to Europe next season are going away pretty quickly, I would say. This basically is a must-win game for Wolfsburg, and they might as well get it, but I don't think they can do it by keeping a clean sheet because Augsburg is on a 3 game winning streak and they have been goal scoring machines as of late. Whoever they played against, they scored a goal. And Wolfsburg definitely does not have the defense to stop them. So both teams to score at -154. That's going to be my pick for this one. Hoffenheim and Stuttgart is the last game of the day in Bundesliga, and to be honest, this one was fairly obvious to me. Hoffenheim did get a few positive results as of late. They got a couple of wins, they've scored a bunch of goals, but then again, they still can't keep a clean sheet, and it's not going to happen here as well against Stuttgart, who is fighting to stay in that Champions League spot and who's playing really, really well right now because they are undefeated in their last 5 games. So both teams to score in over 2.5 at -143. It's not a great price, but it's also not a bad price, and I will gladly take it. In the Italian Serie A, guys, I have a couple of free picks for you, and the first one is between Udinese and Torino. Udinese is coming off of a nice win They beat Lazio on the road 2-1, and this is actually their second game in a row where they were able to score a goal, but they haven't kept a clean sheet in any of the last four games. Sorry. While Torino, on the other side, is on a two-game draw streak. They got a 0-0 draw against Fiorentina. They got a 1-1 draw against Napoli. And I think they will get to the scoreboard here as well. But with the fact, with the way Udinese has been playing over the last few weeks, I think that they will also score a goal here. As you can tell, the books are not expecting goals at all. It's plus 152 on over 2.5. And we are getting a nice plus money on both teams to score. It's plus 102 right now. I will take it. And hopefully these two teams show up in the attacking end. Frosinone is hosting Lazio in another Serie A matchup, and Lazio lost Maurizio Sarri as the head coach, who quit after a series of bad results. They are on a four-game winning streak. They lost five of their last six games. They got knocked out of the Champions League, and I think he actually quit at the right time. If Lazio wants to do something by the end of the season, they have to start winning games. And I think it will start here against Frosinone, who hasn't beaten anyone in their last seven games, and they haven't won against Lazio in their last four games. So when we look at the injury report, Frosinone is missing like six or seven players, and I know that Lazio is missing a few as well. But overall, they are the better team, and hopefully, under the new, actually temporary head coach until they find a replacement for Sari, uh, hopefully they step up and hopefully they get a win on the road. So I'm gonna take Lazio on the money line at plus 150. And the last pick of the day before we move on to the parlay, we have a matchup in the French Ligue 1 between Lens and Nice. I think this is going to be basically a bloodshed of a game here. Nice haven't won any of their last six games, and they are rapidly dropping down in the standings, going from one of the best defensive teams from the best defensive team in the league to a team that can't keep a clean sheet, and now they haven't kept a clean sheet in any of their last three games. As a matter of fact, they've conceded seven goals in those three games. They played against Montpellier, Toulouse, and PSG. Now, I get conceding goals against PSG, but conceding against Montpellier and Toulouse as the best defensive team in the league, something is wrong with this team right now. So, their main task is to defend well, and if something comes up in the attacking end, fine. But I think this is going to be a real battle, and I think if something's going to happen, it's going to be in the second half, guys. So I'm taking first half draw at plus 100. And now the parlay of the day, guys. Five legger pays out at plus 364. Burnley versus Brentford over 1.5 goals. Fulham versus Tottenham over 2.5 goals. I'm taking Bilbao on the money line. Bayern Munich to win and over 2.5 goals against Darmstadt. And Hoffenheim versus Stuttgart over 1.5 goals at plus 364. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. These were the free picks for Saturday. Hope you have a great day, guys. Check out those picks for the MLS. Get some more winners, and good luck with all of your bets. And let's hope for the best with this parlay and the rest of the free picks, guys. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you soon with more free picks.